Hello and welcome to a particularly personal episode of Pixel Wankers.
Very personal.
As we are broadcasting from my very own living room.
We've been evicted from the other studio.
Yeah. These guys are slumming it on my couch nowadays. And
I gotta sleep on top this time.
Yeah. So, how's it going, lads? This is my humble abode.
Speaking of, real quick, audio, apologize for the audio side of this. It's probably not going to be as clear as the normal, so get over it. But we're going to be putting up the video too, so check out the video.
So we've all had a good Christmas break, I take it?
Yeah, this is our first episode back since Christmas. Last week we were kind of still on vacation. Studio was shut down, so me and Mitch weren't even there.
Yep.
Crow is gone today. Crow is actually in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
A Comic-Con is at with Urban Myth Studios. So if you're in Albuquerque, go say hi to Crow.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Crow, as you're watching.
Yeah.
Go say hi. So how was your guys' Christmas?
I mean, it was amazing. I enjoyed every second of it, except for I ended up working last week since I wasn't in the studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, Christmas was awesome. Amazing. I got a record player, the Charlie Brown record player. It's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Got a couple records. I've been, rolling on it, and then enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And just a bunch of standard stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Standard stuff. What
Standard
does that mean?
stuff. Well, socks and clothes and things that you don't buy during the year, but you need it so much. It's like, oh, here, go ahead and open up. I have all my Loot Crate boxes, and so she put them all in the Loot Crate boxes because it looked really nice in the tree. I opened them up. Oh, socks. Shirts.
Is this the same thing you did when you were 8 years old?
Yeah.
Socks. Ugh. Shirts. Ugh.
Where are my toys?
Actually, I have a good buddy of mine that for years, every year, he just got sweatpants from his mom for Christmas. And so after he moved out, I bought him sweatpants every single year for Christmas. And I didn't this year, unfortunately. So.
And I opened up my Christmas Loot Crate too, the other Loot Crate for the month.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Yeah, so it was amazing. It was great. It had a bunch of space stuff. So it had a T-shirt that looked like a knitted sweater, and it had all sorts of space stuff like Mars rover and satellites and things that moons and the phases of the moon were across it.
Yeah.
And it looked like a knitted sweater, which was cool. And then it had some comic books. Other stuff did it have in there? It was trying to remember. There was a couple of the really decent things. Oh, there's this little metal container that was I believe it's like a Halo, little metal, armored gun case type thing.
Oh,
keep
cool.
Drugs and paraphernalia.
Yeah. All your paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was fun.
Awesome,
Christmas.
Yeah.
That's way awesome. How about you?
I got Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I've been blasting my way through, and it is amazing.
I loved the first one that came out last year.
Yeah.
I haven't played Rise of the Tomb Raider yet, but I can't remember what studio does it, but it was
Square Enix,
amazing.
actually.
Is it Square Enix?
And Crystal Dynamics.
Okay.
Really?
Okay, Crystal Dynamics is what I was thinking.
I believe.
Tomb Raider, it's done by Square Enix.
I'm pretty sure the box is right there, on the shelf.
And we can actually verify. We're
We
right.
can, yeah.
No, but seriously, the one last year was amazing. It was probably one of the best Tomb Raiders I'd ever played. And of course, I haven't played this one yet, but who made it?
Crystal Dynamics, and I believe Eidos, which I knew, but I'm pretty sure Square Enix. Well, my apologies. Oh, there it is.
Square Enix.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. Because they
just made the disc.
Yeah. They were in some trouble recently. Just the company was sort of going under, so Square Enix sort of decided to publish them, I believe.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's Lara again is just this new Lara is just a wonderful character. She's a really strong protagonist, and I won't get too much into it because I'm probably going to bore.
It's got blood, gore.
Yeah.
Strong language.
I think there's bits of it that are great and bits of it not so great. Like the ending feels a little rushed.
Of the new one?
Of the new one.
Hmm.
Like
Oh,
it's
so you
sort of
finished
like
it?
yeah, I finished it, but I'm going back and doing all the collectibles and stuff.
Yeah.
The ending is sort of like, okay, we're done, so see you later, and then they just sort of run off into the sunset. And I was like, we could have paced that out just a little bit longer. And the finale, the sort of lead up to the finale where it's all big action, big old battle going on, is a bit like the first one, where there's a big old battle towards the end, like that sort of thing. But that's just the way it just
Is
feels.
it too much? I mean, like, because is it Uncharted-y?
It is, but I think like I don't know. I like these more because I've always been a fan of Tomb Raider. But I also think like just her as a protagonist is a lot more. She's not quipping every 5 seconds like Drake is, you know. And the action isn't quite as like in Uncharted. You get the impression that he's sort of clumsily sort of bumbling his way through.
Yeah.
Whereas these Tomb Raiders, she's sort of like the new ones at least, she's taking the time to analyze the artifacts and talk about the history and discover and document, like rather than just sort of like, hey, I'm just gonna like crash my way through this street market and find my way out. Like, and then in this one, it's all you can. It's a lot more emphasis on survival, so you'll get resources and like animal skins and sticks and stuff to build bows and arrows and things, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But then also you can read documents and monoliths, and they increase your language skill.
Oh,
so,
cool.
And then you can go back and discover more
That's
secrets
cool.
on the map because you
Way
understand more like Greek and stuff like that.
Huh.
So there's a lot more emphasis on just sort of discovery and stuff in this one. So that's great. I got Angela. I bought Yoshi's Woolly World,
Which
Oh,
I
cool.
love. I've been playing.
yeah,
that.
so and it's a great game.
Mm.
Like it's like just graphically really impressive.
So, like, how does it add up? Like, what does it play like? Is it like
So-
Yoshi's Island? Is it?
It's a mix of
Yes.
Yoshi's
Yeah.
Island and the new Super Mario Brothers Wii. Like, because Yoshi's Island, it plays very, very close to that, but the way that you do 2 players is very much so the new Super Mario Brothers.
yeah,
But the good thing is, like, they have the easy mode on it, but the regular mode is actually fairly difficult. Fairly difficult.
Really?
at least single player. Like
Yeah,
in
single player
2
for
player
sure.
you get pretty much unlimited lives. So if
Does-
one of you goes off screen, you can respawn again.
Does the playing style like Yoshi's Island? Pretty much, if anyone didn't play
you
it,
have the
you
vertical
walk
thing?
and then
Yep.
you have the little arrow
Yeah.
to shoot your eggs.
same thing.
Same idea?
Yep.
Mhm.
Any other like new mechanics that they're adding in? Like, because obviously they're doing yarn. Is there anything that happens with the yarn that's?
Well,
kind of
there's a
interesting?
lot of things that you can do with yarn. A lot of that's like the secrets, or everything's hidden in yarn, and everything blends in really well. Of course, there's the transformations where Yoshi turns into a motorcycle, or Yoshi turns into whatever, you know,
Which
which
is
is
awesome.
always fun. But I don't.
Well, actually, no. There's like wireframe
Oh yeah.
like things. So there's like a wireframe platform or a wireframe collectible or something, and you hit it with an egg, and it will knit itself around the wireframe
Your eggs are
and create the It's
Oh, that's
yarn.
cool.
And it will create the platform or create the collectible or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it will do it in that colour that you've thrown, which is kind of cool. And then you can also eat your second player or first player. You know, you can eat each other and throw each other, and sort of hit enemies. So if you're out of yarn at all, you can just use someone else.
And there's
to
no
throw.
Mario in this one at all. There's no Baby Mario, or
No, there's no Baby Mario.
Which is nice.
But you can tap amiibos and get the like pattern on.
Oh yeah. So I always put
cool.
the Mario Yoshi because
Because he has the little mustache on his nose.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. It's kind of fun.
yeah, cool.
So it's a good game. It's
So
really
okay, any other games that you bought for Christmas?
No, not me. I got the. I might be in shop, but you can see like a giant Yoshi there. I got that as well for Ange, and it's an amiibo itself, which is kind of cool. So you can tap that and get some cool stuff.
On its foot there.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you rate the games?
Tomb Raider, I'd give probably an 8 or a 9. Pretty high up there. It's pretty good.
Really?
If
Yeah.
it's like the first one, I totally agree with that.
Like the first 5 minutes where you're trudging through snow, and the snow is leaving not just footprints, but like where your leg drags, it will leave a path of snow that's carved out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is amazing. Like just the snow alone is really cool, and it will frost up on her jacket, and then when you get inside, it will melt slowly, which is kind of awesome.
That's cool little
That's what
little effects.
and so the production value is really high, and also the story's really good. It's not quite as interesting as the first one, where you get the really weird imagery of like crashed airplanes and stuff like that, because it's like they have not so much freedom on this, because it's just a bit of Syria and then Siberia is the two places, and it's just Winter Wonderlandy sort of like foresty bits. Whereas in the first one, it's sort of like, hey, you get a coastal village, but you also get this really weird underground cavern and stuff like that. Like you get some really cool contrast, like locations. So this one, I think location lets it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's probably an 8 more realistically. Yoshi's a definite sort of 7 for me. I think it's a great 2-player.
So you enjoy Tomb Raider more than Yoshi?
Yes, but I think again graphically, like how they have the arm to look knitted and it's fluffy. You can see the little fluff on it and stuff. I think that's really cool.
I would give Yoshi an 8 just because I've not rage quit a Nintendo game, and I quit doing one of the I think it was the 4th secret level. Yeah. It's one where there's like a giant PD piranha chasing you through this level, and you've got to get all these secrets throughout the level. But God, I played it like 100 times, and I still didn't get everything or be the and I was just like, dude, I'm done. I'll go back to it in 2 weeks. It's so done. So frustrated. And I love that. And I love that it's this super cute thing, but it's going to kick your ass, which is,
No, I agree. I didn't want to give it like a 10 out of 10 because I don't think it's game of the year, but like, 2-player it's even better. I think like it's a good solid co-op game. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's me just sort of yakking about my stuff. But what about you? I think you're wearing yours, aren't you?
I silk got underwear? This silk underwear. You're like
chainmail thong.
No, actually, I got this. It's the Moto 360 smartwatch from Bailey, and right now, of course, it's playing Mario.
We're just plugging everything today.
I know, right?
I know. It's sweet.
All of these people sponsor us in Mitch's living room.
Thanks, Motorola. No, I've never really been a fan of watches, and out of nowhere, I was like, I want just a gaudy watch, but I'm a tech guy, so...
Well, here's the thing. Do you like the big dialed watch, or would you like a thinner, like...
Oh, I like the big face.
You like the big face ones?
I like that.
I'm the same way. When it comes to watches, I like sort of big chunky watches.
I think like as of watches I've really had, I usually have the thinner, more like sleek looking watches. But seeing that the big bulky ones recently, of like 5 years probably, have been getting like more and more popular. They're kind of appealing. But, I mean, like, that's probably as big as I would go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are watches, though, that are...
Oh, that are like your fist.
And it's like, okay, I don't need it.
You're starting to get into, like, cowboy bell buckle territory.
Yeah, exactly. It has, like, the gauge to, like, twist the knob is, like, as big as a normal watch. It's like, really? This is Grandpa's watch.
Yeah. No, but this thing's sweet. I mean, it connects to your phone. It does everything. Everything your phone can do, it can do better. No, but it's cool.
But does it keep your heartbeat like the Apple Watch?
It does.
Oh, creepy.
It does all that stuff, so it's kind of funny. I was telling these guys that every night at midnight my phone goes, "Hey dude, you haven't taken any steps." And I'm like, "It's midnight, shut up." Like, stop patronizing me.
You're not sleepwalking, and you should be.
No, it's really, really cool though. I did... on top of this, Bailey bought me Yoshi's Woolly World, so I've been playing that. She got me the Steam controller. The Steam controller is really
What's that?
cool.
It's cool.
So it's Steam's version is just a controller. But it has the 2 touch pads for your thumb. One is like a mouse tracking pad automatically. The other one's a D-pad, but it's still a tracking pad. You can adjust sensitivity.
It'll give you like a little bit of a click when you rotate your thumb around just to sort of lock into
it. Oh yeah, it gives tactic feedback, and you can change that, how much it gives you. You can turn it on and off. Like, the triggers have, of course, analog, and then you can click.
Is it like the design like a PlayStation 2 controller kind
It's like an Xbox controller, but instead of like bending this way, it bends to your hand. which is interesting. I didn't think I'd like it, but I've been playing Grand Theft Auto with it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Apparently,
really with it.
Fallout has a few issues with it. Like, not all games.
Not all
great,
games work completely, but the cool thing is,
Well, like games on Steam would work, right?
not all games, but
not
they've
all games,
upgraded the firmware twice since I've had it. So they're like actively working on it.
Yeah.
The whole thing where other people can do configurations for controls, and you can use other people's configurations is awesome. Although the way they curate it right now kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll figure that out and it'll be fixed. But it's cool that you can change everything, absolutely everything on it, and you can play games that are not controller games with it because it automatically works as a mouse.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
it's really been nice.
And you can save presets, I think, as well, right?
Yeah. You can save all your presets. It's like, because Steam has the big Steam menu or whatever, so you can play from your controller and go through all your games library, all that sort of stuff, like if you're sitting at a couch, you know. And so it's like an Xbox controller where you hit the middle button and it pulls up Steam's menu. You can change your configuration, you can do all sorts of stuff.
So, out of controls, like, what controller would you prefer playing with? Xbox One, I guess. PlayStation 4 or a Steam.
I've been off the PlayStation controllers for a long
Yeah.
time. I think my hands are kind of used to. It swaps where the joystick and your buttons are because it puts the touchpads up there. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of weird changing, but using it for a week, I like it quite a bit. I don't miss my Xbox controller at all. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, this might be so weird. I'm sure you guys are gonna like laugh at me or something. But today, some of my friends they're like, "Oh yeah, that game looks so cool." Like, I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" And they're like, "Oh, Star Citizen." Yes, sir, Star Citizen.
I've heard of it,
Yeah.
but I've
It's not launched yet. It's it was a game made on Kickstarter, and it's like one of the most successful Kickstarters. And they were just explaining to me today, and I was like, I'm surprised I haven't heard about this. Have you guys?
I've heard about it. I looked at the
I've heard a little bit
Kickstarter,
about
but
it,
I
yeah.
haven't followed their development or anything.
No.
I watched a video. I was like, dang, this looks cool. Like it's pretty much like. Well, I mean, the more money they originally got like $40 million or something like that, right?
They just amassed another whole bunch of money recently.
Really?
From what I remember.
People are still like developing it. It's like 6 months from launch, and it sounds like they're gonna keep building like worlds as long as they're getting money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seems cool. Like I'm watching this. I watched the video, and the ships are like really well designed. Like the area looks really great, and it's like in-engine graphics, and it just shows like a bunch of like super sexy scenes of like people like standing around in spaceports, like drinking coffee and stuff. And I'm like, is it really gonna be that like cool? I'm sure there are people who are like, yes, it's gonna be that cool. I paid so much money for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still going to be a game, you know what I mean? But I guess the idea of the game is that it's a full world. You basically get in your spaceship, you can travel to other worlds, you can dogfight with people, it's kind of a more colony-based game, but are the in-game characters like involved with how the world works on each of the planets, or?
I don't know. I haven't read that much into it. I've just briefly looked at it, and like I said, I haven't followed development or anything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You're asking
I
other
thought
people.
I thought it looked cool. I hadn't done much about it. I was just, I was wondering.
I knew it was a thing, and I knew it was still in development, but I haven't really followed much of it.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Like, it's the sort of thing that. Have you guys seen the stuff for No Man's Sky that's coming out? It's like a sort of cel-shaded sort of space exploration game, but as you go to new planets and find new creatures and plants, it gets discovered in your name.
Yeah.
So when someone else visits, it's like, this animal was discovered by blah blah blah, and he named it, and blah, blah, blah. And so,
like, there's going to be some.
I know, but
you know, it was an interesting dynamic that someone was telling me about, and then it started me thinking on weird ideas. But in the game, I guess when you die, you don't become the same character when you come back to life. You become like a person that's related to you, so like a daughter or a son or something like that was related to you. And I was thinking like, oh, that's kind of a fun idea. Like instead of coming back as the same person every time, you actually progresses through some sort of genealogy and stuff.
Death with your characters.
Yeah, there is.
That's cool.
But what I was thinking was like, isn't that an interesting idea that a game would have it so? But wouldn't it be cool if when you died, the world that you lived in was actually the future world? You know what I mean? but it retroactively, the future happens as people are playing in the first generation. So if you die in the first generation, you get sent to the second generation, which is like a decade later. You know what I mean?
So all the
and
stuff
that
people are doing
generation
in the
is
first
slightly different, but the things that people are doing in the other world change that world. You know what I mean?
That would be kind
So
of
like
cool.
as you're playing it, like big things can happen in your world, and
The problem
change, and
is,
it's
like,
because of things that happen.
You're
in the
gonna have
past.
people dying so much, and then you're gonna have like 1,000 worlds later.
Well,
right?
like it'd have to have some sort of like, if you're really gonna make a game like that, you'd have to have some sort of end loop. Like maybe there's only 5 generations in that you can go before you loop back to the beginning world. But wouldn't it be cool that like you're playing a game and others are playing a game, but altering your world that they're not even involved with. You know what I mean?
Dude, you'd get to World 3, and then you'd be like, I'm going to kill myself twice to go to the first world.
Yeah.
And make this investment. So in 2 more worlds, I'm going to just be this rich tycoon.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is like, there'll be mass suicides just to get to...
To get away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good idea, though. It's a good
I thought
idea.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
I don't know if it's something that could be done, but yeah.
That would be cool, but yeah,
Yeah,
mass
yeah.
suicides for sure. People would be trying to get on Halley's Comet. That could be bad.
Yeah. So we've been watching a few things over Christmas, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or doing a few bits and pieces over the Christmas break?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad that's established.
Good, I'm glad
I've been watching things. What have you been watching?
My main thing was the new episode of Sherlock.
Yeah. Which I
it
have
was
not
like the-
watched.
I know.
Go on.
I won't go too spoilery because I know that basically it was aired on New Year's Day in England.
Yeah.
And I did some...
Aren't they doing they're doing a showing in movie theaters here too?
Oh, are they? That's cool.
I believe so.
I know that the States is going to be a little while before they get it, so I won't go
Yeah.
too spoilery with a story or anything.
Well, it's weird because, like, let me ask you a question about. I guess this
Alright.
is more not necessarily about the show.
Do
but
you want me to
about
preamble it first? Or do you want me to...
Yeah, he's saying because he's an honorary Brit, he got to see it before any of us.
how did you see it first?
I did some jiggery pokery and managed to...
Jiggery poker.
He has an inside
So,
woman. It's his mom.
I used a plugin to
Yeah.
change the thing.
Shh.
Yeah. And I went onto the BBC's iPlayer and was able to watch it on there. And it's weird. It's probably the weirdest Sherlock.
Really?
It's the trippiest, for sure. So, just to sort of preempt it, I won't go, again, I'm not too much in the story, but it's an alternative 1800s Sherlock, so it's just like the books.
And Khan's there.
No.
God.
So...
Being chased by Bill.
So it's sort of like a Christmas special type episode, and I was expecting just a sort of alternative universe episode, just a one-off, and it starts off really creepy. Like probably there's some genuine moments of terror in there. I was like, oh my god, this is kind of scary.
Really?
So that's really cool, but then they link it into modern day, and that kind of threw me because I thought, oh, I guess this links into the main narrative of Sherlock. And then they sort of go back and forth, and eventually, without progressing the main story too much, they end up in present day again. And that's what was so confusing, because I thought it was just going to be its own thing, like a sort of special episode.
like Sherlock walks down the street,
What if?
falls over,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's...
Yeah, but they actually linked it
Yeah.
to the main narrative of the present day Sherlock. In a very clever way, but it also feels a little...
I like that idea better than just the idea of like someone falls down and then trips, and then all of a sudden they imagine that they're in like the Dickens
Yeah, it's not like
I think
that
that would be a dumb way to approach it, but I don't know if they should have too much crossing over each other, because
well, it's not
then
like
they'll have to follow that
it's
through.
not like it's some descendant of Sherlock doing his own thing. It's not like that. It is Sherlock, and again, I don't want to give it too much away because I know there's some really devoted Sherlock fans, but it is linked to the main story. It's not just its own thing, and so that was an interesting choice. I kind of would have preferred just its own thing, because I don't think progressing the main story is gonna for 5 minutes is gonna benefit anyone. Like you could have saved that for the next
season.
season.
Yeah, how long is it? Is it an hour and a half or whatever?
Yes, yeah, an hour and a half. It's really good though. It's probably my favorite. Like I was saying, it's the trippiest because you have to kind of get your mind around how it's going back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
And it makes sense with the character and everything. And if you're a devoted Sherlock fan, you can probably figure it out already. But like, it's probably my favorite episode.
Yeah.
And it starts off really scary, but it is. You have to kind of remove yourself quite a lot for that episode. Like it's the most weirdest one of the lot. It's not just a straightforward detective story. It's just like it's kind of odd, but yeah, it's very good. I won't go into too much until you've seen it at least.
Well, and then this brings me, and I don't know how much you can answer these questions, but it brings me into like, why did the BBC put it out this way? Because so me and my wife looked online and we were to find out if it was coming out during Christmas or whether it was New Year or whatnot. And so it said that it was coming out on PBS, like I think it might be tonight or.
Oh, okay. So it's not too long ago.
Yeah, it's pretty recently, and they may have already had it. But then you could also buy it online at that time on DVD, which is like, okay, well, if I can just buy it, then why wouldn't I just buy it?
Yeah.
But it does not ship till afterwards. And then I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she's like, well, I'm planning on seeing it in the movie theater. I'm like, what? Because I guess they're doing special showings here in the movie theaters, but that's not till like mid-January.
That's weird.
Oh, that's really odd.
Which is like, so it doesn't make any sense how they're kind of releasing it. It seems like if you want to do a movie release, you would do it first, and those people would get to see it, and then you would do the online release and PBS. But it's all kind of back and forth.
Yeah. It's really odd.
So I was kind of confused by that, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it looks cool. I'm definitely going to check it out. You know?
It's really cool, and it's like sharp and witty and funny. I've heard that it got mixed reviews in England, and I can see why. Because it's my favorite episode, but it's not my favorite, like, for reasons you would think. It's sort of my favorite because it's so weird.
Yeah,
I think that's what draws me to it. I think that's what put a lot of people off, is because it's like, wait, we're in present day, now we're back in this, and but every time they do, it's kind of a trippy transition.
Yeah,
you know. But I really liked it. I thought it was great. I'd be interested to see what you think of it.
Yeah,
when you watch it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't talk about what I watched because we can't.
Snuff films? No.
Yes. Yeah. Involving someone Scott knows.
Yeah.
No, I watched The Hateful Eight, but I don't want to go.
I don't know.
Preface: we're gonna do a Hateful Eight episode.
Yeah.
Soon.
Well, yeah, it'll be of I'm sure more than one film, but definitely. So I can't talk about that, but it was great. So we'll talk about that when you see it.
So you give it a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. The street corner, review of it is awesome. Go see it.
Okay.
Check it out.
Cool. Because I'm expecting a dialogue-heavy, kind of Reservoir Dogsy sort of single location film of just intrigue and twist. And I hope that's
you're pretty good.
Cool.
Pretty good.
All right.
I think you'll be pleased.
All right then.
It'll be good. What else did you see?
Well, I saw some movies, but we're also going to be reviewing those. Now that people are like, what are they talking about? But we're going to be reviewing some more movies. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see much other movies. What did I see on Christmas? I swear I went to the movies on Christmas and I saw something. Not really anything. I don't know. Not really anything.
Huh. What else did we do? You and Crow came over.
Oh yeah, so we did a bit of
stream some stuff on
Twitchy.
Yeah, that was
new
fun.
news or whatever it's called. So we were just sort of messing around on Batman, but it was really just a test to see if our Twitch is up and running.
It was really you just beating all his high scores.
Oh yeah,
on
just
Twitch,
making
watch.
So that's kind of cool. So sometimes it might be Steve, sometimes it might be me, depending on.
Maybe it's me. You never know.
Oh, maybe it's even
Maybe
Tim.
it'll be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll try and get that up and running a bit more successfully. So check that out if you can.
Oh, actually, I do remember what I saw. Heart of the Sea.
Harlot of the Sea.
Heart of the Sea.
I think we're like before Star Wars.
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I did see Heart of the Sea though. And it was a great movie too.
It wasn't Harlot of the Sea.
No, I wish I saw Harlot of the Sea. That's too.
They call those mermaids.
Yeah. So,
how was it?
It's great. I mean,
cool.
I went with one of my buddies, and he hasn't seen a lot of Ron Howard movies. Mm-hmm. It's a Ron Howard movie, you know what I mean? It's exactly what you would expect from that. He was expecting like this like big action movie, like whales there all the time, and it's just going to be like one after another like crazy moments, and it's not that kind of movie. But that being aside, he's still like, I liked the movie a lot, so and I liked it too, knowing what it was going to be like. So I mean, it's definitely a really decent film. It's probably one of those films that like, unfortunately with Star Wars and all just the Christmas movies, it's going to probably fall aside. I'm guessing it's going to get some pretty critical acclaim, like because it's a well-made movie. But definitely check it out. It's worth seeing.
I actually wanted to go see it when I saw the trailer. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I got some comic book news.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I've read Jessica Jones, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And
Alias Comics or whatever,
yeah.
Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. And it's very, very good.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a little better than the first few episodes of Jessica Jones.
I think that was one of the first comics that or maybe it's the only comic that has like a disclaimer like nudity and stuff, right?
Well, their Max line of comics, they do like a Punisher series and stuff, and they always come with like a parental advisory, like.
Yeah.
And the reason I think it's a little better than the sort of first few episodes is because they're not afraid to name drop superheroes.
Mm.
In sort of Jessica Jones, they're like, oh, that guy that wears the flag, or oh, that guy who wears the iron suit, and they never really they sort of dance around the subject.
The big green guy.
Yeah, they never really sort of say Captain America. And so like in this, it's like, no, we've got superheroes, and so they'll be like, oh, look, there's Captain America. Like,
I wonder if that has to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though, and like the movie guys being like, okay.
I'm sure if they had free reign, they'd be all over the place. But like, so I think it sort of gets into the story a little bit easier and quicker. She's already been established with Luke Cage. She's already she's dropped into this big scandal in the first few pages of like spying on this girl that's disappeared, a bit like the first episode.
Yeah.
But it turns out she's having an affair with Captain America, and it's like, oh my god! And so she's like, I got this tape, I don't know what to do with it, because like.
Really?
Yeah. So that's kind of.
That would be an interesting.
It is, and that's why I think it's a little bit stronger of an opening. And they got some cool stuff throughout, but and it does feel like each section sort of begins, middle, and ends. It doesn't really carry over so much. But it's a good comic. I'm definitely gonna continue that series.
Cool.
I also got Hawkeye Volume 1, which I haven't read yet, so expect a review of me that soon, because that's supposed to be amazing. And I also read Batgirl.
I saw Batgirl on your
Batgirl Burnside, I think. Yeah. So that one, like, there is some good and there is some bad. Like, the good is that
what outweighs what? Be honest.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to.
Okay. Who does enjoy Batgirl?
But I'll do both evenly. I'll talk about both. So the good was the artwork's very solid. The writing is pretty good. There's a few things that annoy me in it, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And Barbara Gordon's a good character. Like, she's sort of a fun protagonist and stuff like that.
Oh, but Barbara Gordon. So it goes through. I haven't read any Batgirl comics or anything.
It's still Barbara Gordon, and what they've done for again, this isn't like very first issue of the new 52. Yeah. This is like a ways in, so I don't know why she's walking again, even though she was paralyzed. But
magic.
She sort of goes, I had a ... accident, and I was like, oh well.
She had an accident that fixed her legs.
Yeah. I was like, well, thanks for the explanation there, DC. But like, it's Barbara Gordon again. She's in college again. She's de-aged somehow, so she's like.
It's because of the accident. accident.
Yeah,
no,
She got hit in the back by a car, and she can walk, and now she looks like she's 10 years younger.
What it is, it's like the New 52, the reboot. They've sort of de-aged Batman. They de-aged all the characters.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good read. That being said,
you're gonna have to explain that after you're that being said.
well, like DC of recent, and I get a lot of my DC knowledge from Angela, admittedly, because I don't read everything DC.
Come on, dude! You have like 50 posters of Batman. You don't see them, guys, but they're behind you.
I stick to Batman related stuff, but Ange sort of branches out into like Justice League and Teen Titans and stuff. So, like, DC, especially with the Teen Titans, they've been doing this weird thing of like trying to make it hip and cool for the youth of today, right? So they're doing you don't know DC until you've read the, and it's just like, oh God, like every advert is like hashtag this, hashtag that, check us out on Instagram. It's like, so they've done that a lot in this comic. So that what they've done is,
but you know, it's probably just not for you. You know what I mean?
I know, but like let me get to
problem.
Yeah, so I had to keep going back and thinking, this is cool and all, but I am reading a sort of a Batman story. It should be a detective story. And I'm not feeling that in this. Because she fights a villain that is bribing everyone online, and he speaks entirely in hashtag. So that annoys me to begin with. I'm like, for goodness sake.
$50?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Secondly, she does like suit up in a few scenes, which is really cool because I was like, oh, see her new outfit because it looks a really cool design.
Yeah.
But she has a screenshot of an iPod playing, and it has like the play on.
Does it actually say like? Does it have like the Apple sign on? Like
it doesn't. It's just the screen itself.
Like
it's just the screen itself as a panel, but it has an actual song featuring so and so.
Oh really?
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll let that slide. I'm not going to look up that song, but I get the idea of what they're trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
And that same artist appears like 2 other times in the comic with different songs. And I'm like, okay, I get she's a fan, but like, do we have to really plaster this guy everywhere, like all over the comic? She then goes to go like against a couple of cosplayers.
Yeah.
And it's all bright and colourful and anime, and I'm like, I'm still reading a Batman comic. I hope like, it should be sort of dark and broody.
You are.
Like, and I really like Batgirl as well, and so I was sort of like, okay, this is cool, but I don't think this is going in the direction I really wanted it. And it is like, you know, she's in college, and then even in the first few pages, she like wakes up and she's like, oh my God, I was so drunk at that college party last night, and oh look, I slept with the guy, and it's like, oh, for goodness sake, like, it's just pandering to, like...
Oops, I just sent it out online,
yeah,
hashtag funny.
She's constantly on her phone. There's like 3 pages of her setting up a Tinder profile. You know? And, yeah, it's seriously, it's like social media gone mad.
3 pages of her setting up her Tinder profile.
Well, she's trying to catch the hashtag guy, but it's like, they deliberately make a point of, like, advertising
Tinder only paid.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, it's like Tinder or something. It's not quite. It's like Pinder or something. Like it's changed.
Tinder.
Well, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
Tinder.
Like
it's the rapier Tinder.
Instagram and Facebook, but she's always on her phone and she's always doing social media-y things, and that's all good. But it just feels like it's like you get the overall vibe that it's just sort of like some boardroom executives being like, what do the kids love nowadays?
Yeah.
Cosplay and hashtags and it's just like...
It's just like in the 90s that all the boardroom guys were like, oh, everyone put extreme in there, or like some kid who rides a skateboard.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're gonna have like the best movie.
Yeah.
It's Goofy movie? No.
it's that. It doesn't...
Goofy movie was...
It doesn't feel natural. It feels forced. The whole comic feels forced, you know? And so... It was a good read. I would give it maybe a 7 if I was pushing it, probably a 6.
Let me ask you a question.
Why was it a good read?
Because it was Barbara Gordon, it was Batgirl, she was doing Batgirly things, and the writing was fairly good.
So there was a third of Batgirly things and 2/3 of social media.
But it wasn't overly. But when it was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
That was my issue. I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't like every page was like a reference to Facebook or social media. But it was like, when it was in there, it was glaring, and it was like,
It's like they made a point.
That one panel...
How could they have done that, but
so
made you feel okay with it? What could they have done?
Me personally, I might be sort of pulling in too much of my Batman sort of fandom over the fact that it's Batgirl. So I get the idea that she's, she's different to Batman. Obviously, she's not dark and brooding and all the rest of it. But I don't mind the social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a villain that can hack and sort of wreak havoc just online, or even if it's just a kid doing it, that's kind of cool. But when it's like rammed down your throat of everyone taking selfies, or like copycats like dressed in sequin Batgirl outfits and they're all out clubbing, and it's just sort of like, just play it down a little bit. You don't have to force feed me this guy's music every time she's getting ready. Like, I get the idea that she's listening
Well, I was thinking,
to music,
what if instead of force feeding it within the writing of the comic, what if they just like said on the first page or whatever as an ad, like, "Hey, this is the kind of music we would want you to listen to with the comic. Here's a free download to the
like a letter to the editor type thing.
That would be kind of fun. Like if it's like, hey, it's not going to matter, but if you want to listen to some music while you're reading this comic, this is some good music to listen to. That would have been probably a better way to approach it rather than inputting it into the comic.
Yeah. And even if it's like, hey, follow Batgirl on Facebook/Batgirl, that's fine. I don't mind all that, but like, I don't know, the fact that she was sort of like it was just the whole comic was force feeding me like, hey, you should be on Facebook right now, checking out this, and it's like, no, back off. I just want a detective story. That's that's what I sort of picked it up for.
Yeah.
And there's some good bits, and like I say, the artwork's really fun in it. But there was those few circumstances that really put a bad taste in my mouth. And I know why. It's because DC are doing this push for like the youth. The kids, and like it. You can see it in single issues. It's like, you don't know Batman until you've read the new Batman, and you don't know DC until you've hashtag DC and Instagram, and it's obvious. It's really obvious, But that's the bad. Like, I don't want to put anyone off it. It is a good comic.
Yeah. What's your rating? 1 to 10.
I would say a solid 6. I would push a 7 just for the artwork, and like then the story's okay.
Fair enough.
But there's that social media-y stuff and the kids, whatever the kids are into nowadays, really put me off it. The youth. So yeah.
The youths.
The youths.
Whatever the youths are doing.
So yeah. Oh, I just rambled on.
Now I wanted to hear that.
Step off the soapbox, Mitch.
Yeah.
So, I know we've talked about before your collection of things, and I keep seeing over Scott's shoulders.
No.
Your
I got a feeling some of those go missing by the time you guys but,
this is a really cool amiibo. It's a little
hedgehog in a bath. That's one of Nintendo's lesser known N64
and when
games.
you put it in, into a bathtub, you can ride it.
So I think we should have catch up time with Mitch and the amiibos.
Let's show, because I know that you have some rare ones. I know you've imported a bunch some with your Inside Woman.
Yeah. My contacts.
Give us a little amiibo rundown.
All right. Wow.
Well, yeah. Let's cut over and look at some of these things.
Hello again. Here I am, teleported magically in front of my amiibos. So this is my pride and joy, I guess. How sad is that? So I guess my latest ones are the Animal Crossing ones up here. I got Chibi Robo. Like, a lot of these are just combinations of like me finding them on the shelves and me sort of going out and getting them imported and stuff. And I've talked about them a lot in the episode, so I figured I'd show you guys, So I got a couple of the Pixel ones here, the 30th anniversary, the 2 colours there. And then basically every shelf is just rammed full of amiibos. We'll do a couple of close-up shots as well, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I think my latest was Falco down here, which is kind of cool. And then over on this side, we go on to the The Mario Party ones. Oh no, these are just the regular Mario. The Mario Party ones at the back here. The Yarn Yoshis at the back here. The Splatoon ones.
So what's the
rarest that you have?
Rarest, and maybe what's like the history of like how did they become so popular? Like, where did they start, and what kind of makes an amiibo rare?
The rarest, it's difficult to say because, like, when I first started getting them, Little Mac was crazy hard to find. And nowadays you can get Little Mac on Amazon for like $20. So I don't know, they go up and down. But then like Rosalina was really hard to get. So it really just depends on like what month you're, trying to collect them. For me, like I started off, I got a Kirby and a Pikachu, I think was my first couple of ones. Just because I thought they were really cool. They, good solid paintwork on them and that. And then from there I was like, well, I kind of like the Yoshi and I kind of like this and that. And I was like, you know what, I'll just get all of them.
I'll just get all of them.
And it sucks because I don't even care about like Diddy Kong and like Captain Falcon, but
you need
like,
it.
Yeah, you do need, and so yeah, so that's where it sort of grew from there. And I don't know why they've become so hard to find. Well, I do actually know why. It's because there's been like shipping problems with Nintendo and
really?
America. Yeah, they've had like strikes, like dock strikes and stuff, so they've been hard to like get them imported in time and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much.
So which ones have been hardest to find here that you've had to import?
Met Knight I had to get from Japan, and some of the Pokemon ones like Greninja and stuff like that, I had to get those straight from Japan. Some of the ones from the UK are like the Mii Fighters. They came from.
I saw those. Are those especially neat? Like, why would you want a Mii Fighter? Like, they just give you a Mii with fighting capabilities.
What it is, these ones with the gold bases, they're from Smash Brothers, and they're basically doing every character you can play as in Smash Brothers. And one of the characters you can play as is your own Mii, and so to compensate for that, they did Mii Fighter amiibos, just to sort of say, like, hey, you can play as these in Smash Brothers. So that was... those were kind of hard to find here. Splatoon was hard to find for a while, but I think you can get that on the shelves now as well. And they've started to do a second run of a lot of the rare ones. So you will actually find on the shelves, like... Zero Suit Samus and some of the Kid Icarus ones and the Zelda ones and stuff. So the ones that were originally rare, but they're starting to come back again as a second.
Toon Link isn't one, is he?
He wasn't rare for ages. I think he started to go up in price because you can't find him anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also there was another one that was kind of hard to find. I can't remember which one it was now. Like King Dedede was really hard to get, and also some of the retro ones were hard to get as well. But
what are some of the coolest ones that because like they each do different things for games, like so.
Yeah. So Mr. Game & Watch is kind of cool. He comes with a couple of different positions, so you can actually change out his
positions.
Yeah. You can actually change out his base. So like. There he is there, and then you can switch out, like...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he does the different positions from the games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which
is really awesome. The yarn Yoshis are really cool because they actually are made out of yarn. I like those. And I think they're talking about doing like an
army. Have the blue yarn Yoshi?
What's that?
Oh, yeah, he is right there.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
That's like...
They've even started to do... Animal Crossing cards as well, which is where it has the amiibo chip in there, and it's cheaper to print cards for Nintendo. So if you don't want a character of some really B-movie like character, like they do a card of it, so you can get the character that way, but without having to spend time and money on getting a figure of it. But yeah, that's just where I am at. Like
So out of all of them that are out, what are you missing?
Golden Mario, but I'm not too bothered about that. I got the silver one, and I think that's pretty much good because I've already got the regular one anyway. And that's it.
Really?
Every single one out so far. And then in the new year, I got Shovel Knight coming, and also a couple of the new Animal Crossing ones as well.
Are they going to be doing because Cloud's released for Super Smash Bros. Are they going to do a Cloud one?
Yeah, they're definitely doing a Ryu from Street Fighter.
Yeah, I saw that.
I imagine Cloud and probably Bayonetta will be released. I'm really excited for the Link, the Wolf Link with Midna, which is really cool. So those are on their way as well.
So out of all the ones that you have, what actually does the coolest thing in a game?
I would say the Splatoon ones. They unlock challenges for the levels in Splatoon. So you can go back and do your favourite levels, or a select amount of levels, but with different weapons, or like a time limit, or an ink limit. And then once you do that, you get either a piece of clothing or a weapon, or like a little mini game in Splatoon. So you actually get DLC, but you have to earn it.
Yeah.
Rather than just like tapping an amiibo and just getting something. Like the Yoshi one's kind of cool, the Woolly World one, because you just get that costume, like that pattern.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of just sort of having to earn the reward, you know? So that's kind of cool. So.
What are you hoping that they'll do in the future with the amiibos?
I don't mind the idea of like holding back DLC. I like the idea of unlocking like skins or characters, especially if they play differently to just the regular character. I think they're going to do some stuff for the Twilight Princess HD with the Zelda series, which is kind of cool. I'd love to see Star Fox do some stuff with Amiibos, and I'd really love to see some Metroid stuff as well if they were able to do that Metroid. That'd be kind of
They didn't plan this, obviously, but they're coming out with their new system. Maybe they'll plan it in the future. But what would you think if they reprogram their controller so that one of the buttons on the controller is an Amiibo button, and like you have to use that button, you have to
have that
use
amiibo.
use an Amiibo, and that maybe gives you like an extra attack or something in a game. What would you feel about bringing hardware into this like
that would be kind of cool. I think that's
thing?
a bit beyond what they've. But again, they got that new console coming out.
They've got the new console now.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want with it, you know, and we'll see what it is.
But the other thing as well, like they do have a thing on the I can't remember what it's called, like Amiibo Tap or something, and you tap an Amiibo and you get 3 minutes of a classic arcade game, and you can choose levels to do for 3 minutes, which is kind of cool. I kind of wish it would just unlock the whole thing. I mean.
Yeah.
They're so old now, you may as well just give them away for free.
Well, that and you've spent so much money on an amiibo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like $20 for an amiibo. It's to give you a
Yeah.
license for an old Ice Climbers game or something that they have, you know.
But that'd be sort of a cool prospect.
The Ice Climbers on here? No, they don't have that yet.
They're not in Smash, and the reason they're not in Smash is because they couldn't program it on the 3DS.
Really?
A little fun fact for you kids. They couldn't, because they were doing the Wii U version and the 3DS version.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure out how to program the Ice Climbers in the 3DS version, so they had to cut them from both. So there's no Ice Climbers in Smash.
See, that's kind of lame. Like, it seems like because you can play online with each other, right?
Yeah.
It should just proxy in some sort of like character, like just one Ice Climber. At least give you one Ice Climber that you can.
Yeah.
I mean, like it kind of takes away some of the fun
I'm sure
of
they'll
being able
figure it out,
to
like
use
in
both
the
of
next
them.
version or whatever.
Huh.
Well, cool,
So
man.
there you go.
Very awesome.
Tell the people where they can find us and talk to us and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can check us out on pixelwankers.com. You can also find us on Facebook, on the YouTubes, on Twitch,
And Podbean.
Podbean as well, if you just want to listen to our sultry voices.
That's right.
And
Soldier voices.
that's pretty much it for now. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Let us know if you like
Sharing
the toy review.
Yeah.
We'll do a little more of that if you guys like it.